George, come here quick.
What did you do, Uncle Billy?
I posted a Disney video to my online course.
You know what this means, you silly old man? Lawsuits, fines, maybe even jail time. Well, this guy's not going to jail, see? Mr. Potter, I'm in trouble. Can you help me, please?
Look at you. You called me a warped old man. Now you come groveling to me for help? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give Interpol a call and turn you in. Stealing. Pirating. You can run, George, but you can't hide in a small college community like this.
If you can hear me, please help. What were you doing out there?
Saving you, George.
What do you mean, saving me? And how do you know my name?
I know all about you, George, and I also know that copyright infringements are serious. But we can help.
Well, to tell you the truth, I wish there wasn't any copyright law.
Oh, George, you don't mean that. Oh, wait a minute. You're onto something. A world without copyright. Okay, it's done. There is no copyright law. Oh, come on now, Joseph. Isn't that a little overboard?
Well, you said you could help me with my copyright problems. How are you going to do that?
Well, first we need to understand that copyright law grants the copyright owner certain exclusive rights to do things like reproduce their work, prepare derivative works, distribute their work, perform their work, or display their work.
So is there no way for our teachers to use copyrighted materials without paying exorbitant licensing fees?
There are always allowances in copyright law for educational uses, but first, there are some questions you need to ask yourself.
Really? What are they?
Well, first, are you using a lawfully made copy of the work? Did you get the copy from an authorized source?
Hey, welcome to Smudge as Much, where everything is premium authorized. If you can't afford that, try someplace else.
Welcome to Smirchy's Merchies.
So it matters where you get it, right? Hey, didn't this used to be Giuseppe's museum?
Without copyright, Giuseppe couldn't get enough new works, and he got out of the business. Nick here doesn't mind displaying cheap rip-offs of old classical work to fill his museum.
There ain't no law against that. I think I understand what you mean, Clarence. What's next?
Next, you should ask yourself, is the work protected by copyright?
What do you mean?
Some works aren't even eligible for copyright protection, like names, titles, short phrases, and basic factual information.
Oh, okay. So, what does copyright protect then?
Generally, copyright protects creative works from the time they are fixed in a tangible form. After a certain period of time, usually 70 years after the death of the creator, copyright protection expires and the works become part of the public domain.
Is there any other way for works to enter the public domain?
Sure. All works created by the federal government are in the public domain, too.
Hey, wait. Didn't this theater used to have 10 screens?
Well, without copyright law, it is harder for movie companies to recuperate their costs. Fewer movies, fewer screens. Anyway, if a work is in the public domain, you don't have to get anyone's permission to use it. For example, have you ever heard of the movie It's a Wonderful Life?
Of course, it's a classic. In fact, it's one of my all-time favorites.
Well, certain parts of that movie are in the public domain now because the studio didn't renew the copyright in the 1970s. So anyone can use those parts of the movie without getting permission.
That's great. So is there any chance the Disney movie that Uncle Billy used is in the public domain?
I'm afraid not. That movie isn't old enough to be in the public domain yet, which is what got you into trouble in the first place. But remember that without copyright, the movie might never have been made to begin with.
How do you know so much about copyright?
I have my ways.
Well, what do you do if something isn't in the public domain?
Then you need to find out if you have permission to use the work. Sometimes content creators allow other people to use their works through Creative Commons licenses or other similar agreements. Millions of articles, photos, songs, and other works are freely available for use in that way. Libraries also secure a variety of material through licensed databases for their patrons to access. Many people don't even know how much content they have permission to use through one license or another. It's often worth a little extra time to look for licensed content so you don't have to worry about getting sued for copyright infringement.
Don't be late for dinner, George.
Mary, you remember me.
Of course. There's just no copyright. It's not like you ceased to exist.
Oh, okay. See you tonight, sweetheart.
Hi, Daddy.
Hi, kids. See you at home later. So Clarence, what if I need a specific copyrighted work and there's no free alternative available?
Well then, there may be an exemption in the law that permits your specific use. For example, copyright law allows instructors to perform or display a work in a classroom of a non-profit educational institution without seeking permission.
Is the same true for online courses?
Yes, there is an exemption for online courses, but it's rather complicated, so you should consult your friendly neighborhood copyright licensing office for more details.
Don't forget that Section 108 of the law addresses the use of copyright-protected materials by libraries. But that's a topic for another movie.
Mary, what are you doing here?
Well, I am a librarian. And since you guys didn't mention Section 108 while you were at the library... Anyway, see you at home tonight, George.
See you later, dear. But what if my use doesn't fall under any of those exemptions?
Well, you should always consider whether your specific use qualifies as fair use.
You mean you can use it at a fair?
No, fair. Like legitimate, just, appropriate to the circumstances.
Oh, okay. I was just a little confused since we're, here at the fair. So how does fair use work?
Fair use covers certain uses for purposes such as criticism, comment, and teaching. To decide if something qualifies as fair use, there are 4 factors that need to be considered. First, the purpose and character of the use. Generally, commercial uses are less likely to be considered fair use than non-profit educational uses.
Okay, great. You know that I work for a non-profit university, so that means I'm off the hook for Uncle Billy's use of the Disney movie, right? Whew.
Not so fast, George. There are 3 more fair use factors that have to be considered, even if the use is for a non-profit educational purpose.
I was afraid of that. Okay, what comes next?
The second factor is the nature of the copyrighted work. The use of a highly creative work is less likely to qualify as fair use than the use of a factual work. Third, you must consider the amount of the copyrighted work that is used. If you want something to qualify as fair use, you should be careful not to use any more of the copyrighted work than is needed for your new purpose. The fourth and final factor is the effect of the use upon the potential market for the copyrighted work. If the new work acts as a substitute for the original work in the market, then it probably won't qualify as fair use. Although there are no clear-cut rules, The BYU Copyright Licensing Office does have a checklist you can fill out to help you decide whether your desired use qualifies as fair use.
Okay, I get it. The checklist can help me decide whether fair use applies, and if it does, then I don't need to get permission. But what if I don't think fair use applies, or I'm just not sure either way?
Then you may need to get permission from the copyright holder and possibly pay a licensing fee to use the copyrighted work. The Copyright Licensing Office can help you with this decision and with obtaining a license if needed.
Now I think I can go back to a world with copyright law.
Look, Daddy, BYU says every time someone learns about copyright, an angel gets its wings.
That's right. That's right. Way to go, Clarence.